Hello, I'm Lacey Rodriguez, and I want to talk to you guys about my Lauren Ashton collection full volume topper. It's been a year since I bought it, so I wanted to give everybody an update and let you know what I think about it still, and some of the things I thought in the beginning that have changed. So let me tell you really quick how I found this topper. And so when I was first researching for a topper, this was back in like 2017 when I was getting really serious about buying one. And when you Google hair toppers, Lauren Ashton collection is going to be one of the first ones to pop up. Their marketing is awesome. And when I saw some of the before and afters, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have that one. But at the time, it was very expensive. I think it was like $900 back then. So I ended up just settling for a cheaper topper. And this was kind of like my dream topper that I really had my hopes up to get someday. Fast forward a couple of years, and it was 2019. I just had my baby, and I was like, I really, really, really want that Lauren Ashton topper. And I had already gone through two of the other company because they only lasted a few months. The other one, the one I was wearing at the time, my second one from that company, it was still in decent shape, but I knew it wasn't going to last very long. And so one of the biggest selling points for me on this topper was that it was supposed to last up to 3 years. That is huge, considering my first one only lasted me 4 months. So I was like, I know it's a lot of money, but you know, it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it if it will last that long. So I was terrified to buy it without seeing it in person because it was so much money. At that time, it was up to $1,000 for the full volume. And so I saw that they go on these like tours around the US, and they'll go to like salons and do like pop-up shops and stuff. And I found that they were doing one in Vegas, which is like still 5 hours from me, but it was the closest one. So I actually made a whole trip out of it, took my little newborn baby all the way to Vegas, stayed the night, and just so I could go to this like pop-up in a salon. So I could see it, try it on, make sure I was absolutely in love with it before I bought it, because returning it was not really an option. I'm gonna be totally honest, and I talked about this I think in my first video, but I was not convinced when I first saw it. The hair was definitely beautiful. The cap was not what I wanted, not what I expected. The topper I had before had a mono top with a silk parting, and I loved the part on it. It just looked so natural, so natural. I hated that I couldn't part it wherever I wanted. You had to like part it on, and in fact, it was on this side, and I was like, my hair won't part that way. So I was excited to try a topper I could part anywhere, but then I was disappointed seeing that the mesh base was really visible. You could really see the knots. Granted, the hair was so tightly packed that it was less noticeable than others that I've now seen later, but at the time I was just like, God, this is so much money and I don't love the base. But the hair was so luxurious and so amazing, I just bit the bullet and bought it. And I'm so glad I did. Let me say that I have loved this topper. I have worn it more than I've ever worn any of my other toppers. I get compliments on it all the time, and I just feel really good in it. So that being said, there are some things that I had some major problems with, and I'm going to talk about that. But let's just kind of go through my original thoughts and then how they compare to now. Original thoughts, of course, was how beautiful the hair was. So much of the hair, like dream hair. It's a lot of hair. It's a beautiful color. They have so many color options. My stylist only added a dark root, but all of the balayage highlights, they're all from original from when I bought it. So it's gorgeous coloring. Again, the hair I just could not get over. So buttery soft. I was just running my fingers through it constantly. I still do. That still holds true. This will stay brushed and stay tangle free really like impressively well. I've had other toppers since that tangle super easily. So I love that this hair doesn't. However, it is a little drier. That's to be expected. It's been a year. So I just need to be better about putting oil in it. Just one of those like finishing oils. You can just run through it. when it starts to feel kind of dry and crunchy. And I just need to be better about doing that. But I know that this hair, as far as thinking if it's gonna last, it will definitely last. Like, I imagine it will last I think it will last till 3 years. In 1 year, if it still looks this good, I am convinced it's still got a lot of life. A cool thing about it is I haven't had to wash it very often. I've only washed it 4 times since I bought it, so that's like every 3 months. It's awesome because it's less work for me, less styling, less maintenance, and it didn't smell bad. It still looked great. I know when it needs washed because it will start to clump together. And you know what I'm saying? Like when your hair gets kind of gross, but it doesn't ever get like oily because there's no oil touching it. So I love that about it. I love how maintenance free it is. And I love that it's just super quality. Like, I'll just say that. Of all the toppers I've owned, this one like wins by a long shot in quality of hair. It's European hair, so of course it's the top of the line, so it's more expensive, and there's a lot of it. So I'm going to tell you about the scalp, which is kind of funny because I was so worried about how unrealistic the scalp looked. I don't even care anymore. Like, it does not bother me, not even a little bit. And let me tell you why. Because I did realize, and I've learned, that silk tops, like my first 2 pieces, once again, they were mono top with a silk parting. The silk makes it really hard to get volume in the crown of your head. Wherever the silk is, like the hair just lays flatter. That is, for some people, that is what they're looking for. That's what they like. It's like this sleek look. But I just don't feel like I look best like that. I love to have a ton of volume on the top of my head. And this mono base, monofilament cap does that. Gives you tons of volume and gives you like that big hair look, which is what Lauren Ashton's hair looks like all the time. She's got a ton of volume, and the cap is what makes that possible. So it's a trade-off, but I'm okay. I'd rather have the volume than just a realistic part. So I'm okay with that. And honestly, it really doesn't look too bad. Like, in this lighting, this is probably the most obvious lighting people are gonna see it in. And most people don't even notice. Usually I just get straight up compliments every time I wear it. So I love it. But let's talk about the not so good thing, because there is a really big not so good thing, but I've kind of figured out a way around it, and I really think it's important to talk about. I experienced some major traction alopecia from using this topper. And what that is where your hair falls out in a certain spot, and it's from excess pulling, tugging, rubbing in one area, and it will pull your bio hair out or break it off completely. And that happened to me right here where this clip clips in. It was kind of devastating, to be honest. I think at the time I was going through some postpartum hair loss, so my hair was falling out anyway, and it was more fragile. But exactly where this clip goes, I was completely bald. I'll show you some pictures. But it was, like I said, devastating. And especially when I realized it was my topper, and I was so bummed because I love this topper and I love wearing it, but I was like, I can't handle ruining my bio hair because of it. So I did some research, and I found out that it can grow back. There's no guarantee, but I was determined to get it to grow back. So I stopped wearing this topper for a few months. I actually got a second topper. It's the Uniwigs Claire mono topper, and they actually gifted it to me, which was stellar because it was much needed at the time. But it's clipless right here in the front. So it's a glue-on. You don't have to glue it on. It has a halo, but I glued it on. It's a lace front. And anyway, that ended up saving my hair because I didn't have anything clipped into that sensitive part of my scalp, and it was able to let my hair grow back. And then I found a wig grip or a topper grip that has worked awesome for this topper. So I don't ever wear this topper without a topper grip, and I'll show you in a second what that looks like. But it has also continued to save my hair. My hair has grown back in that bald spot, thank goodness. And it's taken like a long time, like 8 months probably, for it to grow back. But it's grown back, and now I just wear this topper grip to protect it from here on out. I don't ever wear this topper without a grip. In addition to that, I don't ever wear it up. I'm very, very careful about the way I style my hair. I've always done this though. I style my toppers on a mannequin and then I will put them on my head. Every once in a while, I will add a couple of curls to help it to blend, but don't ever style it on your head. Anytime you're pulling on that, there is the potential for damage. So despite the fact there are a lot of companies that claim that their topper is damage free, I would never believe that. Anytime you have added weight or stress or pressure on your bio hair, there's the possibility of damage. So there are ways to work around that, like I said, but I would never believe a company that says theirs is damage free. That's just me, but I wouldn't. Other than that, that's pretty much all I have to say. I think that it's a great topper. It is a huge investment, but I truly believe it's going to last the 3 years, especially when I'm only washing it 4 times a year. Like, you can't beat that. So let me know if you guys have any more questions. Tell me what you think about it. And I would love to hear what your experience has been. I got a lot of interaction on that first video for this topper, and I hope that I was a little negative. I'm gonna be honest, I was a little negative. I'm a little more positive, even though I had the traction alopecia. I'm able to bounce back from it. I was gonna show you the topper grip, I almost forgot. So let me take this out. This is the topper grip. This one is from Milano Wigs, and it's just this little, let me show you. It's just this little piece of kind of velvety fabric, and this is a stretchy kind of elastic string. So you just put this on just like you would, well, it's kind of the reverse of a halo extension. No, it's actually the same. It's just, I don't know what I'm saying, okay? It's like a halo extension. And so you put that on, you pull your hair on top of it so it's sitting kind of at the nape of my neck, and then I pull the hair on top of it, my hair, and then this just clips right into this little ribbon. There we go. And then I just kind of line up my part, and then always hold down your hair. Like, just remember, this is usually a very thin area for most people, and it's very fragile. So just when you're brushing it, you really want to like hold it while you brush so that it's not pulling on those little baby hairs. But the downside to this topper grip, it is great, but it won't lay quite as flat as it does without it. But to me, I don't care because I don't want to pull my hair out. Okay, so now that's the end of the video. Let me know if you have any questions, what you think about it. I mean, in my opinion, I'm going to do a little spin for you, but I feel like it looks really good for being a year-old. It still moves really well with my hair, blends great. And most toppers really are only guaranteed for, like, not even guaranteed, but they usually don't even market themselves as lasting longer than a year. So this is something special, I think. The fact that they advertise it will last for 3 years, and I have faith it will. Okay, thanks so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe because I have lots more stuff coming out, and I'm actually working on something really special, is to help people pick out their first topper. I feel like I've learned boatloads from mistakes, and I just want to help people so they don't have to do it that way. So subscribe, follow me on Instagram. I'm really active over there, and I'll leave all these links below. But thanks so much for joining me, you guys, and I will see you next time.